Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. If you're here to improve your English listening and speaking while getting seriously inspired, you've landed in exactly the right place. Today's story is called Nothing is Free, and trust me, by the end you're going to feel like you can conquer the world. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's begin. There was a boy named Leo, 20 years old, lived in a tiny mountain town where the mornings were cold and the nights were quiet. Leo had huge dreams. Not small ones. Not maybe one day dreams. He wanted to own a whole chain of restaurants one day. He wanted his name on signs across the country. He wanted to give his family the kind of life where nobody ever had to worry about the electric bill again. But dreams don't pay the rent. His dad, Mark, worked as a mechanic, hands always black with grease, back always hurting. His mom, Claire, cleaned other people's houses from sunrise to sunset. And his little sister Sophie, only 10, still believed her big brother could do anything. One freezing winter night, Leo sat on the front steps staring at a sky full of stars. He whispered to himself, "I'm going to change everything for them." But how do you start when you literally have nothing? The next day, he told his dad about his dreams. Mark wiped his hands on an old rag, looked at him, and said something Leo would never forget. "Son, nothing is free. Not success. Not respect. Not even tomorrow's dinner. If you want something, you have to fight for it with everything you've got. Start small. Start today." That night, Leo couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about what people in town complained about every single morning. "There's no good fresh bread here. We have to drive 20 miles to the city bakery." An idea hit him like lightning. There was one bakery in the next town over, owned by a grumpy old man named Mr. Anderson. Leo had exactly $11 in his pocket. Not enough to buy even one tray of bread. But the next morning he walked the 7 miles anyway, showed up at the bakery door at 4 a.m. and waited. When Mr. Anderson finally opened, Leo stood tall and said, "Sir, I want to sell your bread in my town. I don't have money to pay you up front, but if you trust me for 1 week, I'll sell every loaf, pay you back in full, and keep just a little for myself. If I fail, you'll never see me again." Mr. Anderson stared at him for a long time. "Young man, do you know how many people have promised me the same thing and disappeared?" "I do," Leo said. "But I'm not them." The old man finally sighed. 1 week. Don't make me regret this." That first morning, Leo carried 40 loaves on his back, walked home, and set up a tiny table by the park. He smiled at every single person who passed by. Fresh bread. Still warm. Try a piece, it's free. People were suspicious at first. But one bite turned into one sale. One sale turned into 10. By sunset, every loaf was gone. That night, Leo walked back the 7 miles, handed Mr. Anderson every cent he was owed, and kept $23 profit. Mr. Anderson just nodded and said, "Be here tomorrow at 4. That was the beginning. For months, Leo woke up at 3:30 a.m., walked to the bakery, carried bread home, sold out every day. Rain, snow, burning heat, didn't matter. He saved every dollar. After 4 months, he bought a second-hand cart with wobbly wheels. Suddenly, he could carry 100 loaves instead of 40. One day, a regular customer said, "Leo, why are you still buying from Anderson? You're the best salesman I've ever seen. If you baked your own bread, you'd keep triple the money." Leo went home and couldn't stop thinking about it. But he had never baked a single thing in his life. The next morning, he asked Mr. Anderson the scariest question of his life. "Sir, will you teach me how to bake?" Mr. Anderson laughed so hard he almost cried. "Teach you? So you can stop buying from me? You've got guts, kid." Leo didn't look away. "If I make it one day, I'll never forget the man who gave me my first chance. I'll send customers to you. I promise." Something in Leo's eyes made the old man pause. Finally, he said, "Fine. But baking isn't easy. Show up at 2 a.m. tomorrow. And bring strong hands. For weeks, Leo's alarm went off at 1:30 a.m. His hands bled from kneading. His first 20 batches were either rocks or goo. One night, he burned an entire oven full and sat on the flour-covered floor feeling like a total failure. He almost quit, but then he heard his dad's voice in his head. Nothing is free. So he got up the next day and tried again. And again. And again. After 6 weeks, Mr. Anderson handed him one perfect golden loaf and said, this one is ready to sell. You did it, son." Leo rented the tiniest oven he could find, turned the garage into a bakery, and started baking at home. His little sister Sophie wrapped every loaf in brown paper and tied it with string. His mom cried the first time she tasted bread that her son had made with his own hands. Within months, the whole town was talking about Leo's bread. It tasted like love, people said. Then came the hard part. A big, shiny new bakery opened right across the street. Fancy lights, colorful signs, Instagram-worthy cakes. The owner was a rich kid named Eric who had daddy's money behind him. Suddenly, Leo's customers disappeared. For 3 weeks, Leo sold almost nothing. He came home one night, sat at the kitchen table, and put his head in his hands. Sophie crawled into his lap and whispered, "Are we going to be poor again?" That night, Leo made a decision. Instead of complaining, he asked every customer who still came, "What do you like about Eric's place? Tell me honestly." They told him, prettier packaging, cleaner shop, fancier cakes. Leo worked harder than ever. He painted his cart bright blue. He watched YouTube videos until 3 a.m. learning how to pipe roses on cupcakes. He started giving away tiny free cookies with every purchase. Slowly, people came back. Because Leo's bread still tasted better. Because Leo still smiled like every customer was family. A year later, he rented his first real shop. Small, simple, warm lights, handwritten menu on chalkboard. He called it Leo's Fresh Bakes. Opening day, the line went around the block, but life wasn't finished testing him. One stormy night in February, Leo smelled smoke while locking up. A wire had sparked behind the oven. By the time the fire department arrived, half his equipment was destroyed. The next morning, the whole town whispered, "Poor Leo. That's the end." People came by to say sorry. Some brought flowers like it was a funeral. Leo stood in the blackened shop and felt the weight of everything he built almost crush him. Then he took a deep breath, rolled up his sleeves, and started cleaning. He baked at home again with one tiny oven. He sold from a folding table outside the ruined shop. He told every customer, "I'll be back bigger and better. Just watch." And something beautiful happened. People started showing up with bags of flour. Old ladies brought butter and sugar. Teenagers came after school to help scrub soot off the walls. Mr. Anderson, now retired, showed up with a check and said, "You kept your promise, kid. Now, let me keep mine." 6 months later, Leo reopened the bakery. New ovens, fresh paint, bigger windows. The mayor cut the ribbon and told the crowd, "This young man taught us something important. When you refuse to quit, the whole world eventually lines up to help you stand back up." Today, Leo's Fresh Bakes has 3 locations and counting. Sophie works the register after school. His mom keeps the books. His dad finally retired from the garage and now fixes the delivery vans with a smile. And every single morning, no matter how busy he gets, Leo still wakes up at 4 a.m. He still kneads the first batch of dough with his own hands. Because he never wants to forget where he started. And on the wall behind the counter hangs a simple wooden sign he made himself. Nothing is free, but everything is possible if you're willing to pay the price one honest day at a time. That's the story of Leo. A boy who started with $11, sore feet, and a promise he refused to break. Tell me in the comments, what dream are you working for right now? What price are you willing to pay? Drop it below, because your story might be the one that keeps someone else going tomorrow. If this video touched you, please hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Because every week I bring you real stories like this, told slow and clear, perfect for improving your English and your life. See you in the next one, family. And remember, Nothing is free, but everything worth having is absolutely worth fighting for.